The Soviet officer lay in the pile of dead men with a leg covering his face. The Germans fired wildly at the Soviet soldier's body to make sure no one was left alive. Fortunately, the officer dodged all the bullets. After the Germans retreated, he was nervous and vomited. He carefully crawled out of the pile of bodies. That's when he noticed two Germans in a building across the street. He pulled a rifle from the bodies and adjusted his breathing. He was about to pull the trigger when a voice suddenly came from beside him. The recruit told him that firing randomly would reveal their position. The officer looked at him and pulled the trigger anyway. But there were no bullets in the gun, and he couldn't stop his hand from trembling as he tried to pull the bolt. At that moment, the new recruit crawled over, took the gun in his hand, and skillfully pulled the bolt. Pressing the only 5 bullets left into the chamber, he finally handed the gun to the officer and told him to wait until there was an explosion before firing so that he could hide his position. Then began to observe the Germans. The officer picked up his rifle and began to take aim, but the Germans across the street kept moving. He turned his head to the recruit beside him, his glasses blurred by sweat and blood, and the Krauts had begun to shower, showing only their heads, a difficult target to aim at. The recruit saw the officer's dilemma and asked the officer for his rifle. Just as the recruit was adjusting his position, a jeep vehicle arrived, bringing 3 more German soldiers with it. The pressure on the recruit is mounting because he only has 5 bullets. There were 5 enemies, and he needed to get every shot right. At this point, the officer is accidentally spotted by the Germans, and he hastily hides. Suddenly, an explosion goes off, and the recruit doesn't hesitate to shoot and kill the bald officer. The other Germans did not notice. Then he skillfully loaded his gun and took aim. The Kraut was looking up. The alert Krauts realized something was wrong and rushed to the ground. At that moment, he immediately fired a 3rd shot. The Kraut who was lying down tried to throw a grenade, and he raised his hand and fired again. The last Kraut saw it and ran towards the wall. The recruit stood up and raised his gun to take aim. All 5 bullets hit their targets. The officer beside him looked at him in disbelief. This Soviet ace sniper was real. Do you know how many enemies he killed in the Second World War?